Hi, I'm Faye Peel, Communities with Collaboration podcast host and executive producer, Mental Health Reform, who we are, where we've come from, and where we're going next. I'm a white-skinned, short, reddy-brownie-blondie, and green and brown hair enby in a blue t-shirt over a yellow and white striped shirt, coming to you from my home on unceded Ngunnawal and Ngambri lands. With an invitation to participate. Very briefly, yes, I'm back from hospital much more quickly than I expected and much more shaken than when I first left. But we will continue because that is the force of nature that is us, apparently. I'm here to actually ask for your help. I know I've asked for your help in the past, and we're getting to a point where for me to manage my own psychosocial distresses, maybe, I need to ask for help from the collective, from the community, from the lived experience audience that is following us and is sharing in the wisdom of some incredible humans that have been part of this podcast and will continue to be part of this podcast to the end of the season. We're raising funds. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to ask for our community to crowdfund this production. And while there is still some time yet left until I actually have to wrap up and make sure that the invoice is paid, that's not actually going to be until 2023. And we are still chasing some sourcing leads. At this point in time, I have $10,000 that this podcast has incurred, and we have no hope of considering the possibility of a future podcast season until we can cover the cost of this. So I have bit the bullet, so to speak, and I have set up a GoFundMe page, and I would love it if you click on over and have a look at what we're asking, what I'm asking, and how you might be able to help us with this little passion project. This started out as something that I thought, hey, this could be cool. I'm going to do it. I'm going to record it on Zoom. I'm going to strip back the audio and then try and edit it up as best I can and release it. I had not at all accounted for the fact that I would have an NDIS recovery coach in my life trying to misappropriate my funds and do all sorts of dodgy things in the background and convince me that upskilling in podcast production work is something that could be done under NDIS employment supports. It absolutely isn't. But the cost of the podcast ran well ahead of what I was expecting it to be. And in fact, that was her job, was to keep that managed, and she didn't. So we are now, I refuse to take a cut on that. The podcast studio has given us a discount, but they acted in good faith. I acted in good faith. And we now need to find a way to make this happen. We need to find a way to cover the costs of this podcast. And maybe if people are generous and people feel like they can support this, and people do feel this to be something of value that they can get behind, we might even find that we have enough funding to cover a second season with this amazing production studio that has been so supportive along the way. So the goal is set at $20,000, and I know that sounds a lot, but that is what it costs to fund 2 seasons of a podcast of 7 guests. So if you are interested, if you can help, if you can share it with the organisation that you work for and ask if they can help, if you can ask them to call me, email me, talk to me, it would do so much for my peace of mind to know that this is something that is in the bag and it's one less burden I have to carry. And it would mean so much to those who have yet to hear this podcast and what may come into the future. Many of you have contacted me and said, thank you. This means so much. And I didn't ever do it to make any kind of money. Our podcast guests have either paid or chosen not to invoice for their co-production costs. This was never about making money. This was always about letting people know that the lived experience workforce is here and it's here to stay. So I'll leave you with that. Keep your eyes out for Louise Hanson's episode that is coming out next Friday at 7 p.m. Trauma Informed World. And we'll catch you on the flip side.